This was narratively the worst thing they could have done. Execution-wise, I love it. It's cool. The best prelude to a fight they could have done. What they've done here, narratively, by showing us this, there's no reason for the audience to have any worry or doubt in Sarada at all, based on this. Especially if you're a Two Blue Vortex fan and you're just coming in here. Because
Yeah.
this displays from the very beginning that Sarada is stronger than Hidari. Just better than him in a fight. Like, hypothetically, Season 1, Episode 1 of Avatar The Last Airbender, if you have Aang just beat the Fire Lord, then the rest of the series plays out the exact same way, to where the Fire Lord is stronger and more ominous and foreboding, and Aang has to learn all the elements to beat him at the future finale, blah blah blah. That's not gonna be nearly as impactful or the same. Frickin' Plankton from the SpongeBob movie. The point is that they narratively surpass the main characters, and the main characters have to grow in order to overcome the stronger threat. Right now, we just saw the fact that Sarada is capable of handling threats of Hidari's level. Hidari is of Hidari's level. Unless Hidari just gets stronger, that's the only way that works, but I would still hate it because narratively, why would you show Sarada being stronger than her opponent, who she should be surpassing?
I mean, you're not gonna say this is good, but like, you could argue that it's for Hidari's sake as a character, to where Hidari, so getting back to the identity thing, Sarada has already affirmed what her identity is, whereas Hidari has not. So it is possible that Sarada is gonna start off in the advantageous spot, whereas Hidari is going to be like the loser until he finds his identity, that he surpasses Sarada. So it's almost like Sarada's the villain in this sense, where we're going like the opposite way. Like,
I always come back to this example when referencing this screenwriting thing, is when you have multiple villains, each villain has to be narratively more significant than the last, because you just saw your protagonist be able to overcome the antagonist of a certain level. So the next antagonist, by default, has to be stronger. Otherwise, the audience knows from the very beginning that this is a threat the protagonist can handle at any time. Whenever they come into conflict or contrast with one, direct contact, there's no stakes. There's nothing to lose, because you already know your protagonist can handle the situation, the circumstances. They've already surpassed something even greater than it before, or on the same level. You know they can do it because they have done it before. So the example I always use is Rick Grimes. His antagonist, the opposing force, has to always get stronger. Or even Avatar The Last Airbender, Aang always faces stronger and stronger threats. With Rick Grimes, he faces the Vatos gang, and then Shane, and then it moves up to the Governor with Woodbury, and then you get the Claimers, and then the Terminus, and then freaking Negan. And then you can even go even beyond with Alpha and Beta, the Whisperers, and then the Commonwealth, and then the CRM. The point is, it's a constant escalation. If you see Rick take out the Governor, the Woodbury, the entire group or community that has a tank, and then his next threat is just Joe Schmo, who he's already taken out a threat level beyond, there's no reason to be worried. There's no sense of danger there, because we've seen him take out someone even greater than these people.
exactly. That's how you know that fucking Kaguya is not stronger than Ishiki. Mellow. Because there'd be no sense of threat.
The reason the threat has to be greater, especially with static characters such as Rick Grimes, is that the antagonist has to be able to push the protagonist to try and get them to change. The audience already understands how much resistance they're able to sustain. We know Rick Grimes won't change if a danger to his family is as strong as the Governor, because we've seen it. So in the future, the threat level has to be greater than that to push him farther because we've already seen he can deal with resistances of this level or weaker. We don't know of greater threat levels, which is why we can ask the question when the threat levels greater than that arise. Unless greater threats arise, there's no questions to be asked because we already have the answer. There's no unknown variable. We're not in a point that we've never seen before. This is all familiar territory, so we already know the end result.
Exactly. Also, the thing is, assuming the character isn't complete, like you need a stronger opponent so that you can push the character further, like so that they will continue to grow. If Hidari's just weaker than Sarada, Sarada has no reason to grow because of Hidari. Because regardless if she's complete or not, she would never be pushed into the corner to make her grow, to make her surpass her limits. So Hidari really has to be stronger